Somewhere on a Marine training beach, a U.S. Marine Corps combat vehicle crawls out of the surf. It has 8 wheels, not tracks. It is built around an Italian armored personnel carrier. The program was originally priced at roughly $4 million per vehicle. Current production runs higher. The basic personnel variant now costs approximately $5.3 million per copy. The vehicle is designed to swim. In late 2022, the Marines suspended open water operations across the ACV fleet, and waterborne assault training did not fully resume for almost 2 years. The vehicle is called the Amphibious Combat Vehicle. The Marines call it the ACV. It is 9.2 meters long. It weighs roughly 32 tons combat loaded. It carries 13 Marines plus 3 crew, and it runs on a 700 horsepower Italian diesel engine. The Marines have ordered hundreds of them. Total program cost runs into the billions of dollars. Almost every major design choice in this vehicle is stranger than what most viewers would expect from a U.S. Marine Corps combat vehicle. What do you think is the strangest thing about modern military vehicles? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your answer is probably already on this list. For nearly 50 years, the U.S. Marine Corps relied on a different vehicle to move Marines from ship to shore: the AAV-7, the Amphibious Assault Vehicle. It entered service in 1972. It was tracked, not wheeled. It was designed to carry up to 25 combat-loaded Marines from a Navy amphibious ship onto a defended beach. And by the 2010s, it was old. The youngest AAV-7 vehicles in regular fleet service were over 30 years old. Many were closer to 50. The fleet had been kept running through service life extensions, refits, and improvised upgrades. The Marines needed a replacement. The Amphibious Combat Vehicle program, first designated ACV 1.1, was the answer. The contract was awarded to BAE Systems, working with the Italian defense company Iveco, in June of 2018. The first vehicles entered low-rate initial production almost immediately. The Marine Corps approved initial operational capability on November 13, 2020. Full-rate production was approved the following month. By 2024, deliveries were continuing across multiple variants. The ACV is one of the largest active combat vehicle procurements in the U.S. military. It is also one of the strangest combat vehicle designs the U.S. Marines have ever fielded. Most Americans have never seen a complete breakdown of what makes it unusual. What people think they know about Marine combat vehicles does not apply here. Most assume Marine vehicles are tracked. The ACV is wheeled. Most assume Marine vehicles are American designed. The ACV is built on an Italian hull. Most assume amphibious means crossing a river or wading through surf. The ACV is designed to swim from a Navy amphibious ship over the horizon, miles out to sea, all the way onto a defended beach. The vehicle has 8 wheels with independent suspension. It is 9.2 meters long. It weighs roughly 32 tons combat loaded, significantly heavier than the AAV-7 it replaced. It carries 13 Marines plus 3 crew, for a total of 16 people in a fully equipped combat load. Its top road speed exceeds 65 miles per hour. Its top water speed is approximately 6 knots, at about 7 miles per hour. It is rated to operate in conditions up to Sea State 3, which is a moderate sea with waves up to about 4 feet. Almost every major design choice in this vehicle defies what most people assume about a U.S. Marine Corps combat vehicle. The reasons why are stranger than the design itself. The first strange design choice is in the hull itself. The ACV is not a clean sheet American design. It is built on the Super AV, an 8x8 armored personnel carrier originally developed by Iveco Defense Vehicles. the Italian company best known for building commercial trucks, buses, and the Cursor diesel engines used across European industry. The Super AV design started development at Iveco in the 2000s. It was originally aimed at European NATO customers, a wheeled, mine-resistant, amphibious troop carrier with a V-shaped hull and counter-rotating water propellers. The vehicle was tested at Camp Pendleton in May of 2013. After 12 days of evaluations, the Super AV exceeded every Marine requirement for water performance, troop evacuation speed, and stowage capacity. When the U.S. Marines opened the formal competition for a new Amphibious Combat Vehicle, BAE Systems and Iveco partnered to compete. They beat out a rival design from SAIC, based on the Terex platform used by the Singapore Armed Forces. BAE Systems became the prime contractor on the U.S. program, but the core vehicle structure remained Italian. This is unusual for a U.S. Marine Corps combat vehicle. Most Marine combat vehicles since the Second World War have been designed in the United States: the AAV-7, the LAV-25, the M1A1 tank, the older LVT series tractors. The ACV breaks that pattern. It is one of the first major U.S. Marine combat vehicles built on a foreign-based design in more than half a century. The second strange design choice is in the troop capacity. The ACV carries fewer combat-loaded Marines than the AAV-7 it replaced. The AAV-7 was rated to carry up to 25 combat-equipped Marines. The ACV carries 13 combat-equipped Marines plus a crew of 3, for a total of 16 people fully loaded. The Marines effectively cut the troop-carrying capacity of their primary amphibious assault vehicle nearly in half. This was not an oversight. The reduction was deliberate. Before we look at why, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit subscribe right now and let us keep going. The newer vehicle has significantly more armor, more advanced fire control systems, and more interior space dedicated to crew protection and survivability. According to BAE Systems, the ACV provides force protection capability 3 times greater than its predecessor. The Marines decided that fewer protected Marines was a better trade than more vulnerable ones. The legacy of the AAV-7, including the long history of mechanical failures and the difficulty of fielding new safety upgrades on a vehicle that had been in service since the early 1970s, shaped that decision directly. The operational result is significant. A Marine rifle company now requires significantly more vehicles to move the same number of personnel ashore. The logistics, the planning, and the wave structure of amphibious assaults had to be rebuilt around the new capacity. The ACV is safer, more capable, and more expensive per Marine carried than anything the Corps has fielded before. The third strange chapter in the ACV story is what happened after the vehicle entered service. The ACV is amphibious. Swimming is the entire reason the vehicle exists, and starting in 2022, the Marines had to repeatedly suspend swim operations across the fleet. The first major incident happened on July 19, 2022, off the coast of Camp Pendleton, California. 2 ACVs were caught in unusually high surf during a training exercise generated by a storm system that had sent historically large waves to the Pacific. One vehicle rolled onto its side. Another was disabled. All Marines aboard evacuated safely. No one was injured. The Marine Corps immediately paused all waterborne ACV operations across the fleet. Did you know the U.S. Marines spent nearly 2 years unable to use the most expensive part of a multi-billion-dollar vehicle program in the conditions it was actually designed for? Yes or no? Tell us in the comments. Open ocean operations were reauthorized in September of 2022. Then on October 13th, 2022, a third ACV rolled over in the surf zone near Camp Pendleton during a nighttime training exercise. 3 crew members were unharmed. The Marines responded by suspending ACV surf zone transit specifically, the most critical capability for ship-to-shore amphibious assault. Surf zone operations remained restricted for nearly 2 years, while engineers conducted additional testing and analysis. Land operations and open ocean training continued during that period. The most expensive new combat vehicle in the Marine fleet could be driven, but it could not do the one thing it had been built to do. To understand why the Marines accepted all of this, the foreign hull, the reduced capacity, the repeated swim suspensions, you have to understand what happened on July 30th, 2020. That day, off the coast of San Clemente Island, California, a platoon of AAV vehicles was returning to USS Somerset after a training exercise. One of the vehicles was 36 years old. During the return trip, a transmission failure caused the vehicle to begin taking on water. The bilge pumps could not keep up. The emergency egress lighting was stuck in the disabled position. The rear cargo hatch would not open. The vehicle sank in roughly 385 feet of water. It was the deadliest AAV accident in Marine Corps history. 16 service members had been aboard. 8 Marines and 1 Navy sailor did not survive. The investigation that followed found a chain of failures stretching back 7 months, and it found a platoon that had been formed late, was not properly trained, and was assigned vehicles described by the senior investigator as being in horrible condition. The investigation concluded the vehicle should never have entered the water. The ACV program was already underway when the sinking happened, but the accident reshaped the urgency and the priorities behind it. The reduced troop capacity, the heavier armor, the emphasis on survivability, the deliberate and methodical fielding approach, even the willingness to ground the entire fleet over a rollover with no injuries, all of it traces back to a culture that changed after 9 service members died in a vehicle that was older than most of the Marines riding inside it. The ACV is being fielded in 4 variants: the personnel carrier, the command variant, the 30mm gun variant, and the recovery variant. Some arrived years behind schedule. As of the mid-2020s, the full family is still being delivered. The Marines are taking their time. After 2020, taking their time is the entire point. A hull designed in Italy, a vehicle that carries roughly half as many Marines as the one it replaced, 8 wheels instead of tracks, a swim capability that was restricted for nearly 2 years, and a fielding process so cautious that the full family of variants is still not complete years after the first vehicle entered service. Every one of these strange design choices was deliberate. The Amphibious Combat Vehicle is the most expensive amphibious vehicle the U.S. Marine Corps has ever bought. It is heavier, better protected, and more survivable than the AAV-7 it replaced. And it will carry Marines from sea to shore for the next 30 years. The vehicle is strange because the mission is hard. Moving troops from a ship, across open ocean, through a breaking surf zone onto a defended beach is one of the most dangerous things any military does, even in training. The Marines who ride these vehicles into shore are part of a generational shift. From the tracked amphibious tractors of the Vietnam era to the wheeled combat vehicles of today. Which of these strange design choices surprises you the most? Tell us in the comments below. If this video gave you a new understanding of what goes into a modern amphibious combat vehicle, and of the people who depend on it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss what we cover next. We will see you in the next one.